Hello, my friends. The other day I was thinking about these sample books that I got a couple of years ago, I think, from our local interior design store. And I was thinking about these that have embroidery on them. And I was wondering what I could use them to make something with. And I thought about my mother's, she used to make what she called Lucy Locket pockets. And she put them on aprons and some of my little girl dresses, I think. But they're kind of gathered at the top, and then the bottom is kind of puffed out. Just a cute little look for a little girl's dress or an apron. I had thought about these with the embroidery on them, but this fabric is thicker than I think would work really well for one of those pockets. So then I found the one I have that has shears in it. This one has sheer fabrics in it. I picked out one of these that I'm going to make a little pocket from in a little bit, but first I wanted to show you. I kind of veered off. You know how that goes. When I started making them, I thought about using lace, which is what I did for this one. What I did is coffee dye some index cards, and I used a doily, and it's pretty thick doily, and it wasn't drying fast, so I had mixed results on the cards. This one is fair, but then it's got those two dots right there that I didn't particularly care for. And none of them are very clear. What I really need is some of the plastic doilies that they used to make, and you could buy in dime stores and places, but it seems like anymore nobody's selling those. I think Walmart used to have some rolls, like you could buy a certain amount of it on a roll, but I never did that when they had it, and now they don't carry it anymore. But anyway, I used the ones I did. This one has a light design on the back of it. I don't know if you can see that or not. It has a little bit of a crochet doily design on it. And I just used this lace. I think I gathered it up and put the ribbon on it. And then for this one, I just have a clip that I would clip it into a journal. I have my pink journal here, my pinky journal. And let's just look at a page. This is a pretty good page right here. You could just clip it either down here where the lace is, like that. Maybe fold these back. You could hang a charm on that. And I had this little old handkerchief. It's a little bit stained. It's been folded up and stored for a long time. It was my mother's. And I just had it put in there. I thought that made a cute, sorry if I had that off camera. I thought that made a cute little pocket to just clip. And you know, you could put it wherever you wanted to put it. Move it around, take it out, and put whatever you wanted to into it. So that was the first one I made. And then I had a coffee filter laying about, one of these coffee filters, a used one that I rinsed off and dried. So I thought, well, that might pleat up and make a cute Lucy Locket pocket. So that's what I did on this one. And I spent so much time on this one trying to get these pleats even in the right place, and I don't think I did, but I don't think it really matters anyway. But I put lace behind it there, and it has a little bit of that design from the doily on the back. I used this notch punch and put a notch in the index card there at the back, and I also cut it down on the sides and rounded it at the bottom. So this one, I kind of veered off a lot on it, and I put the handle on it. I don't know if you're familiar with that nursery rhyme or not, but it's Lucy Locket lost her pocket, Kitty Fisher found it. It had not a penny in it, just a ribbon around it. And that was why I put the ribbon around this one this way. But then I thought, well, it could be a handle too on it. So I did it that way. And I used a pen, a brown pen, and just put a little bit of design around the bottom of that there. That's some old lace from my mother's stuff. So anyway, that was my first two attempts. And I thought that I would just show you what I did with this one. This is some more lace one of my friends gave me. And what I did is I just took a needle and thread, and I started down on this end, and I just made long, about 1/4 inch or longer stitches across the top, so I could pull it up and put it on here. And when I get it gathered about like I want it, then I will glue it down. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac on this. Actually, what I want to do is I want to round these corners first, the bottom. And then I may do the top also. Okay. So I want this to hang off the bottom just a little bit. And I may come back and put another piece of lace down there underneath it. So I'm just going to start out by gluing this up at the top. If I can get my glue to come out, it's gotten kind of stiff in this hot weather. Stiff and contrary. Okay, there. And then about there. Now, I still got my needle on there, so I may fasten the thread off right there with the needle also. And then I just have this like that. Just so there's a little bit of a pucker in there. I have this ribbon that I could put on this one. I could do another one at the top with like a little handle up here. Maybe even a smaller handle than I put on the other one. I may do that. And then I'm going to glue this down at the bottom. So it's kind of puffed out a little bit. Actually, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one and tie a knot in this end so it has a little interest on that. And then go across. Oops, that's almost the end of my ribbon. I'm just going to tie a little knot over here. See how that does. That would probably be okay like that. And just a little bit there. Okay. On this one, I'm going to glue this down at the top. You could also put eyelets in there and run the ribbon through the eyelets if you wanted to do that. But I think with this, I'm just going to glue it. And I guess I'm covering up the edge there. I'm not going to make that a rounded corner. I'm going to take my needle and just tie this off over here, a stitch or two. And I just use some regular, this is hand quilting thread. It's a little bit stronger than just the regular sewing thread. And you could stitch that on the sewing machine if you wanted to, and use the bobbin thread to pull it up tight. Or you could do like a zigzag across there. That would be cute too, I bet. And you could use, whatever kind of fabric you wanted. You could do a calico or something like that. On this one, we'll just make it plain and simple. And I'll just do the side, the little glue here. Okay. And I want it to just kind of go out past the edge there just a tiny bit. This one as well. And then we've got our gathers there. And just run this across here. Can't see if I've got glue on there or not. There we go. Alrighty. I want it to have a little bit of puffiness to it there. Like that. Okay, there we go. I think I still want to put the notch in the middle here, so I hope I can do that with this ribbon on here since I went to so much trouble to get it on there first. I can do it this way. Just want to get it kind of in the middle there, right about there. I guess that cut it, I don't know. Okay. All right, there we go. And you can put whatever you would like in there. You could put some little scripture cards, or in this one I made these little yo-yos and put in it. That'd be cute too. I like those in here. But you could put, some stamps. Stamps would be good. You could put couple of stamps in there. You can make it like it's her pocket if you want, you know, something she would be carrying in her pocket. So little stamps or just any little bits of paper, or I thought this might be cute in one of them, but I think it's a little too tall. If it was shorter, it'd be cute in there. Maybe cut it off there. So anyway, I think you get the idea of that. That's that one. Back to my original idea of using some of this fabric out of the sample book. This, when it's in the book, it has this paper attached to the back of it. It's like along one edge and down the sides. It's glued to it. Sometimes that peels off easily. Other times it does not. This, I had pretty good luck getting it off. I don't know if the heat made it a little easier to remove or what. But what I thought I would do on this one, I think I want it this way, where it's those kind of stripes go a little bit across the edge that way. And I'm gonna have it down just a little bit. I think I'm gonna put lace at the bottom of this, so I'm gonna glue it like that. Maybe bunch it up, and then I'm gonna trim it to size. Okay. Okay. It's not exactly straight. And I think I'm gonna just kind of press it together just a little bit so it's a little bit gathered across there. Not much though, because it's already drying on me. Okay. Maybe that's good enough. And then I'm gonna take my scissors, get my fabric scissors for this. I keep them over there so I don't get tempted to grab them and do something I don't want to do, like cut paper. I'm just gonna go up the side of this, kind of over there and here. And then I'm gonna go across. This one's gonna be kind of loosey-goosey. Like that. Okay. Okay, there we go. And I have this lace that I thought I'd put across the bottom. Let's see which way it goes. I think it goes that way. And I guess I'll just run it out to the edge like that. This is already gathered on. It has that mesh piece on there on the top. So I'm gonna glue it on with that. And then I'm gonna cover it with some blue. You could do lots of different ways on these pockets. You wouldn't have to use an index card for a backing on it. You could use fabric, or you could just, you could actually just make it on your page if you wanted to do that. And not, you know, if you were gonna glue it in, you could do it that way. I suppose it'd be okay. But you could do scrapbooking paper or some pretty, like a card of some kind that had a pretty design on it, and then just put the pocket. Especially if you were using some sheer fabric, maybe some chiffon or something, you could have the design behind it on your paper and then just have the chiffon over the top. I think that would be cute too. Okay, see if I can do this. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do at this top part. I want it to come down so that it's a little bit gathered. I think I'll run the thread through it again at the top. This side seems a little bit wider than the other side. I'm gonna just trim it off just a tiny bit there. Kind of have it symmetrical. You could also just sew some lace as you're going along here if you wanted to do that. I don't have any right here. I think thinner lace would work better than something thick. But I'm gonna drop down just a little bit, and I'm gonna put the knot on the back, but I'm going to come back with a stitch here to get that attached so it doesn't pull through. This fabric is a little bit hard to deal with because it is kind of bunching up. But I'm just taking about 1/4 of an inch, I guess, long stitches, just to be able to have it gather a little bit. You could do, you know, shorter ones if you wanted to. Might work better, I don't know. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust it so that it's the right amount, so that it's still, you know, attached correctly in the spot I want it to be. And then I'm going to just tie it off over here with a couple of stitches. Okay, so we have that. And I'm gonna glue the sides down now, and I'm kind of gonna push this down a little bit because it doesn't have very much gather across there. So I'm gonna make it a little poochy with the sides being a little bit shorter on this. It's not working yet. I have a love-hate relationship with my Fabri-Tac. Sometimes it just doesn't want to play nice for me. Just kind of okay, and here. The nice thing about putting it on an index card is if you want to, you can use the back as a writing space, kind of a hidden journal spot. If you don't glue it down to your page completely, like a regular pocket, you can use it that way. I didn't get that far enough down. Come on. Put this paper clip on here for a minute because what I want to do is glue the lace or the ribbon across that, and I want it to be where it's down below. I could either use this lace on here. Actually, I think I want this lace down here. So I'm going to use this is some organza ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree. It's a pretty blue, and it looks pretty with that blue. And I think again I'll tie a knot in the end. This one's not going to have the handle on it. It's just going to be either a floating pocket or it could be glued down. Either way. Okay, and then I'm going to take that across there. I think I'll glue it first, or yeah, I'm going to do that. I think I will just glue it in the middle along this stitch line, and that will kind of hold the stitches in place too. And I have no idea how this one's going to work out because I haven't done a prototype for it. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. And I hope it didn't stick to the paper behind there. And I hope it doesn't show too much through that ribbon, which it probably will. Okay. I kind of almost want it to be like it's just kind of floating along there. Like that. And this side didn't float enough. Okay. Okay. So now I need to cut off a piece and tie my knot in the end. Yes. There. Finally. Okay. I'm going to put a little glue under that one to hold it down in place. And I'm going to do the same over here with this one that's not lying flat yet either. Okay, I'm going to take that off. Just put this lace across here. Kind of cut that one a little short there. Okay. And I like the notch in the pocket up in the top of it up here. Whoops, wrong side. Okay, so we have that one. And it's a little bit different from the other one, but anyway, there it is. So this one I probably would clip in because you have this pretty back on it. And if you wanted to, you could add a little more lace across there. Let's see if we want to do that. I think that would look good. This is kind of frilly. I mean, it's definitely limited. The ones I've done are limited to journals that have a lot of fancy frills and stuff on them. Okay. Just kind of angle a little bit. Okay, so that's my attempts at some Lucy Locket pockets. You could add like something on here. This is kind of large, but that might be cute to put inside. Have it sticking up above. Put a note or something in there. You could have it as a spot for a little journal, extra journaling. Just have a little folded up note of some kind in there. Here's a page of just a note paper. You could just maybe fold it where the corners are sticking up like that. Put it in there with the die cut flower. So there we go. This one has the little heart-shaped yo-yos in it. And this one has some stamps in there. Might need something else to go in there too. This one, you know, you could glue it down to the page and put a tag or something behind it there. And then this one that has the little hanky in it. So that is my project for today. I hope you like it, and maybe make some for yourself. It was a little bit frustrating when I first was doing this one, but after that, just kind of just make the pocket where it has some extra room in it. And that makes it, that's what makes it, in my opinion, that's what makes it the Lucy Locket pocket. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.